about chapter number 8, memory management. So we'll discuss these headings in the coming slides. Okay, and let's see that some of the background of these chapters. So we know already that usually whenever we want to execute a program, where it must be brought, always the program must be brought into the memory and placed within a process for it to be run. That means to execute, a process should be brought. So where we can place all the processes in an input queue. We know already this. I think I told you already, the ready queue. Collection of processes on the disk that are waiting to be brought into the memory to run the program. Okay. So we need to keep all those them. Then user programs go through the several steps before being run. That means before you want to run all those processes, they will undergo several steps. So we'll see now what are those. Like whenever you want to execute a program or a process, we will bind some of the instructions. So this binding can be done in different stages. That is, we call it the address binding. That means here how we can get the address of the processes, how can we bind all of them and the data to the memory addresses. So it can happen in 3 different stages. First is during compile time, second is during load time, third is during execution time. That means address binding can take place in these times. Compile time, I mean whenever you want to compile the process prior to the execution. That means if memory location is known priori, that is absolute code can be generated. That means before you want to before you want to compile, then you can find the addresses. Load time, so during loading of the particular code, if the memory location is not known, okay, then we need to generate the some address during load time also. And also we need to generate the addresses during execution time. So binding delayed until runtime, if the process can be moved during its execution from one memory segment to another. So during the running or execution of the particular process, we need to bind some of the addresses. So they can ask you for a brief a question for a 4 or a 6 marks brief note on different stages of address binding. So 3 levels or 3 stages they can ask you. So one is during compile time, other is during load time, and the last is other is during execution time. So after knowing this, we'll have to see the next one small diagram, how a process undergoes in different steps, multi steps. So it is your normal code, and this compiles, this called as compile time, and we generate the object module, and this will be linked with the linkage editor, and we load here, and the loader comes into picture into the memory for loading. So this is load time, and here execution time. I think we can see that compile time, load time, execution times. In all these 3 times, we will bind the addresses. I think you can see the diagram itself. This is multi-step processing of a user program. That means user program undergoes different steps when it executes. Now we'll see the 2 types of addresses which will be used most frequently in the system. So that is logical address and physical address. So what is the logical address? What is the concept of this logical addresses? So address which is generated by the CPU, that means which is generated by the processor, is known as a logical address. So during execution of a process, some address will be generated. So where you want to pick up particular instructions from the memory, then we need a some address that is generated by the processor or a CPU, that is known as logical address. What's a physical address? So after combining the logical address and some offset I will see in the next diagrams, some offset and a logical address, combination of these two will get a particular physical address. That means the actual memory address from the physical memory, or from the main memory, or from the primary memory, the actual address seen by the memory unit, where exactly you want to pick the data, because usually the data or instructions are stored into the primary memory for execution, right? So then you need to pick the instructions from the primary memory for processor for execution. So processor needs to know where the instruction is stored in the memory. For that, it generates 2 types of addresses, that is logical and physical addresses. Then how can we map this logical and physical? We'll see in the next slides. Okay, for that we use a special unit called as memory management unit. So that is used to map the logical to the physical address, that is virtual to physical address. So we can call logical addresses also as virtual address. Please remember this word, both are same. We need to map logical versus physical. Then we use some hardware devices, that is called as memory management unit. So here we use, in the MMU scheme, we use some relocation register is added to every address generated by the user process at the time, and it is sent to the memory. And the user program always deals with the logical address. So it gets a particular physical address. So that's why it never sees the real physical address. That means it cannot see. It is automatically calculated and find the addresses by the processor itself, by the system itself. And you can see the diagram, how the dynamic relocation using a relocation registers, how can we do it out. So this is MMU, okay, and this is the logical address generated by your CPU. This is physical address. The base 14,000 is the base address of the particular process. What's the starting address of the process P1? 14,000. And now you're looking for some particular part of the process which has address of 346. 14,000 plus 346. What will you get? 14,346. So it will be somewhere in the memory. We will get the particular data for execution, because ultimately who needs the data? CPU needs the data. Where the data is available? In the primary memory. So how to get the data from the primary memory? We must map both the logical versus physical address. And in between mapping of this logical versus physical, we use a special unit called as MMU, that is memory management unit. Okay. So the dynamic loading is the one which we do it during the when we start running. This routine is not loaded until it is called. That means some routines will be used, they'll be loaded until it is called. For better memory space utilizations, we will load dynamically. Otherwise, simply we are storing somewhere, and for a longer time we may not use memory effectively. That's why when you require, then you load it. That's called as dynamic loading. We'll see in the next call is dynamic linking. So this also, some linking will take place during the execution call. Dynamically, some particular code or some stubs will be used to link. For example, see this linking postpone until execution time. Small piece of code, some stubs are used to locate the appropriate memory. So where they are there, when you want to link them, then you can do it dynamically. They are called as dynamic linking. So operating system need to check if routine is in process memory address. We'll see next another heading called as swapping. I think I talked about this word already long back to you. What is swapping? Swapping is nothing but temporarily moving some processes, okay, some processes from a primary memory to some other storage. Okay, that we call it as some storing point, back store. Okay, so temporarily moving out some processes to some other memory, that process is known as a swapping. Again, that will be brought back. So when it wants to again execute, I mean, for some purpose it will be swapped out, again it will be swapped in back again for its continuation of execution. So what we do here in this swapping here, so we can store back, backing store, roll out and roll in. So we will store back, and again we'll do this roll out and roll in. That is swapping variant used for priority based scheduling algorithm. I told you already, for example, if you're already in the temple, now you are about to visit the particular inside the temple, okay, you want to take a darshan or whatever, suddenly a high priority process has arrived, then you will be sent out from the temple for a while. It's not like permanently you are sent out, only for a while you will be sent out from the temple, because new process has come with a high priority. So until then you are not allowed to take a darshan or visit the temple. Once the high priority process has completed the task, then you're allowed back. This is called as swap in, swap out. So you're swapped out when the high process has come, you'll be swapped in back once that is completed. So this happens in the swapping process. That means temporarily you are moved out from the process, from the particular place, and again you will be called back.